Alright, we are broadcasting, so I wonder if it's just going to give our... Okay, so I have to... that's video clips, not streaming. I wonder if everyone will just hear us while we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's okay. And then the only other thing I wanted to do, because I felt like last time you were quiet, so what happened was I think I turned down your volume. Okay, I brought it back up, so we'll see what people say when we go.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Because I think me personally turning you down decreased it for everyone.
Ah, I see. Yeah, that would make sense if you're yeah. Oh, I cut that.
Two-minute warning, 2-minute warning.
Okay. Migrate over. Let's see, did it give me a penalty? That's a bit silly. It gives me a penalty if I cut one side of the line, but not the other.
At the pit lane? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I know. Completely cut the other side. Alright, I'm going to join this lobby. Be a second.
All right, I'm going to get us started here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ames Race Number 5, Season 2. We're redoing our race at Road Atlanta from earlier this season. It was actually our first race, but due to the hamsters running the servers over at Gran Turismo or Polyphony, wherever they may be, Sony's headquarters maybe, we had to, well, we were booted out halfway through the GR race. So, looking forward to today. Today, I have, this is Ryan commentating first and presenting the stream, and I'm co-hosting it with Winter. How are you doing, Winter?
Thanks for having me today. Just made it in time. And I'm looking forward to seeing if anything's changed since the last race we had. It was an exciting race at some parts. I believe Moose and Tony both sent it off the track at T1.
And Marino around here.
Yeah, and they came together, didn't they? And they had to fight their way back through the pack, but unfortunately the race was cut short, so we never got to see how far there you go, and I believe at the end we awarded half points for the race.
Correct.
I think Arctic was in first. Shino had just overtaken me, so they wouldn't let
Shino
us go back a lap back as a Formula One style. I would have been in second, but anyway, that was my fault for choking mid-race. And so I think it was Arctic, Shino, me, and then I'm not sure about the rest.
And Steezy, I believe, if I remember correctly. That's all up on our scoreboards. We're watching right now on stream Wally, who is racing in today's GR race, missing the apex quite a bit there, just doing a little spin. Hopefully he does well today. I know he wasn't too happy with his last 2 races, and always looking forward to seeing what he can do.
I thought Steezy came P3.
No, I was talking about the last Road Atlanta race.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Last race, I believe, in the GR race at Autopolis, did he come P3? I think he did.
Steezy did in the GR. Yep, that's right. Congrats on Steezy, his first podium here.
See if he can repeat it.
Yeah, Marino's another one that we've said through the season has been rampant, and so for him to... He was his own worst enemy at a couple of points, I think. Autopolis was not an easy race, that's for sure.
Him and everyone else. I think Marino keeps getting himself into trouble. And, I mean, we tell him, stay out of trouble, but he always seems to find it somehow.
Yeah, something about the, the North Carolinian in him, I should say. I don't know. He likes trouble. We're also watching Pato, who has recently been taken under your wing. How's that going?
It's been going okay. I think we've just managed to get him with the correct server setting, so that's a start. And I've just been feeding him some tuning tips, feeding him some track guides, some strategy. We'll see how he does. I know he hasn't had much time to practice this week, but for him, so long as he improves on one thing every race, that's fine.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's, again, he jumped into Gran Turismo both feet, into the deep end, and just kind of learned his way. He didn't learn how to drive, right? And I think that's important. And that goes for a lot of aspects of life, of learning how to learn. It's difficult, and it's difficult with whatever medium you're learning. So for now that he's got you, hopefully we'll start seeing the outcome of that in the next season or so, which of course we do have much shorter seasons this time around this year, so looking forward to that, and maybe just some more evolution coming through. We've also got Specs racing today, who again, someone that I think is just facing some more adversity than he expected, or I certainly expected for him around here lately, so I'm curious to see what he can do.
I can't quite remember how he did last time, I have to say. I was racing last time, not spectating, so it was a little difficult for me to remember how everyone did, but Specs is going to be fighting Marino for sure, and I think you're going to have Marino there, Shino there, Specs there, whoever else can step up really, and they're going to be fighting for that last podium spot, I think, if Tony, Moose or Arctic make a mistake. But right now, the way it's looking, Arctic might run away with it like he did last time. He's already 4/10 up. I'm not sure if Tony's put many laps in. He's on the circuit now. He's just on his first out lap, I think.
Yep, yes he has. He's coming up on the chicane now at the end of his first real hot lap, and we'll see what he can do. Great looking livery, naturally, and we know Tony's looking for something. He's out for blood, maybe, for redemption. He's getting squirrely there on the exit, maybe got a tire in the grass.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do. He always creeps up the order, doesn't he, towards the end. Now, there you go.
Yep.
What is that?
A 130.6.
1.5 seconds slower, though, but we did just see him lose at least half a second to a second there in the last corner.
Yeah, exactly right. And if we, Moose is a 128, but I wonder how many laps Moose has put in. We can't even see now because he's in the pits.
It's hard to know just how much time people are putting into manufacturers versus this, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Forgive me for 1 second. I just want to plug into my keyboard so I can use that instead of jumping around everywhere. I'll be right back.
Very wide there. There's a few corners here you really don't want to run wide. That's, I believe, turn 5. You run wide onto the curbs there and you get a penalty. And you, to avoid the penalty, you're going to have to come off the throttle. So you lose a lot of time there, about a second. And then the penalty line here. We don't have corner cutting turned on, but later in the race you'll see that. So some people might take advantage of that. Maybe that's what Tony was doing there. But in the race later today, you won't be able to take advantage of that. Let's see up the order here. We got Demons running pretty quick here. I know he's had some good races. He's also had some races where he's had 1 or 2 offs. I believe at Autopolis he had a couple offs at turn 1 in the wet, and that put him down the order. Tony's just put in a quicker lap, but still 1 or 2 tenths off of Arctic, which he can gain easily. His optimal is a 29.2. Not sure what Arctic's optimal is. And Moose has just put in Moose has actually put in a 28.8. I didn't see that. He must be in the pits. So Moose is the time to beat right now.
I am back. I apologize.
Lap. He's knocked another 2 tenths off his time. So let's see, what time's he got? 28.9, within a tenth of Moose's time. So very close, those two. We'll
Absolutely.
See if Tony can get up there as well. He needs to catch about 3-4 tenths, and he's getting sideways quite a lot. I'm not sure if that's the quickest way to drive these cars on the race tires. You don't really want a lot of slip angle.
Yeah, these are a world of difference compared to the Miatas we had driven last season. With those racing hards feeling so much grippier, but still, you want to be in a straight line as much as possible. We'll see how he does coming down on the braking point here, and more importantly on the exit, or I guess the entrance to the next turn. Does he get a tire in the dirt? He has a little correction there. It looks like he's cleaner through there. We'll see his time as he's approaching the line now.
Also, for me spectating, you gotta spectate with your ears as much as with your eyes. You can really hear those tires screeching.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, through there you hear those tires in T1. You're putting a lot of energy in them. Yeah, see, way too much there. I don't know if we're watching on the stream, Tony. But he was drifting through it. Now he's really drifting. Maybe he's listening to us.
Yeah, he's having some fun, yeah. He probably is listening to us. Bear with me here. I'm just going to reorient myself with the shortcuts for the cameras here. I think that's really all I need is these two. Okay, perfect. I want to jump back on board with Tony just to see what he can do, if we're going to see any real improvement. And he's getting sloppy there once more. Luckily, this is not qualifying. This is just practice. And I'm sure he's going to just square up and put a good time in during qualifying. Of course, he's not slow, right? He's definitely not slow. We just know that we could see... expect more. And look, yeah, he's putting on a little show for us. There it is.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. So we got Arctic right now going purple in the first sector. He's looking to capture that fastest time before Moose. And, it is a bit of a confidence boost going into qualifying, having the quickest time.
Oh, yeah.
There's something quite nice about having a good practice, knowing you got the quickest time, knowing you're the one to beat. Puts a little more pressure on your opponents.
Absolutely, as Arctic is really not far off Moose at all.
Nope. And Moose is back out on track now. He's about 30 seconds behind Arctic.
All right, we'll jump on board with Moose after his lap ends. We'll see. Arctic gets a little sloppy once more on the gas. Maybe a hint too early, but it's very easy to do in these GR86s.
And that's 2 tenths you lose, maybe, right?
Yeah.
3 tenths.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Let's jump and see where Moose is doing. We'll jump on board with him as he's approaching the final chicane there.
And you really, in these cars, you really don't want to scrub the tires too bad through that last corner. You do that, the temps won't recover for T1. You scrub them again through T1. You have to lift through the S's. You're just going to be slow. You're going to lose a whole second in that sector 1.
Yeah, and that sector 1 is, it's funny, Pato had sent me a screenshot of where he feels like, or maybe you told him he's losing the most amount of time, and turn 1 was one of them. The entrance into the S's was another. And I'll speak more to them as we come up on them. Moose though looking pretty controlled through the S's there. Maybe
Yeah.
I do eat the curb just like he did there, and this is a tough point. This is where we're going to see some carnage, I think, in the first lap especially. But hopefully all our drivers are respectful of one another, going
And
down to almost 2/10 the first sector.
yeah, but he's not running that T5 out. I think he might have forgotten that we've turned track limits off because everyone should be running wide there. We
Right.
saw in the last lap, Arctic ran very wide, and there's nothing to stop you running wide there. We don't really have a formal agreement. Obviously, don't completely cut chicanes, but I think running wide there is within the rules. I've seen Arctic do it. I've seen Tony do it. You start penalizing one, we're going to have to penalize everyone. So, and that's the last thing you want.
Yeah, it's tough, right? I try to, I don't want to say honorable, but I try to take the approach of still assuming there's track limits and not let the lack of them play into it, right? Because we omitted those track limits for the sake of closer racing, but that doesn't mean we want everyone abusing them, right? As he does go across the line of 129.8, obviously slower in all three sectors, but right now he's the man on top as we're nearing the end of practice.
And also, we haven't seen his quickest time. His quickest time, he could have just straight lined the chicane.
Yeah,
But,
that's very true.
That's the thing. There's some corners, so I don't mind running wide at turn 5 at the end of the S's. If you're going to straight line turn 10, which is the chicane at the end of the long straight, then that's a problem. But let's see here. Moose is gonna, he's staying within track limits. And he's going purple anyway. So we'll have to see this next sector though, because.
Yeah, I'm going to jump on board with him. Let's see what's happening. It looks like others are taking it slow because Anthony did say that we're starting soon here.
Yeah.
Gets too wide there on the grass, carrying too much speed, and that is 8th for practice, I think, for him, as Tony starts qualifying.
You're on a hot lap, and you just try to push it a little bit more to try and stay purple. But
absolutely.
Here we go, and we're off. Looks like Moose got out first, even though he's not the head of the pits.
That's right, and there Tony goes. He's getting out second, it looks like.
I think Moose is just that much closer to the server.
Somehow, some way, however it works, right?
That 10 milliseconds better ping gets you out in first place.
And sometimes that's all you want. Maybe not on a rainy day, but when it's dry and you want some fresh air, I cannot blame you for looking to get out. Now, I know there was a glitch, I don't know if it's been patched, where the headlights of the car behind you don't actually illuminate the road and just make everything dark. Has that been fixed? Have you experienced that?
I have no idea.
I've watched some people.
That was a thing.
Yeah, I've watched some people driving, and basically they have a car right behind them, and for whatever reason, it just looks like even their own headlights isn't on. So it looks like they're racing in almost pitch black.
If you watch Tony, I think you can see on Tony's POV, there's the headlights behind him.
Oh, I am on Moose.
You go on Arctic, you can see the headlights behind him.
Oh, yeah. Okay, excellent. I wonder if it's a person, a client-by-client basis, but hopefully it doesn't happen, because while it doesn't look too dark to me right now, everyone can set up their games a little bit differently.
All kinds of funny things happen in these games. You get a bit of server desync. Sometimes I've had people just completely disappear on track on Thursday night in a race. The car in front of me disappeared, then reappeared. I had no idea it was there for about 2 corners.
Yeah, I've seen some of these things happen, and it's very, I don't even want to say bewildering. It's just, it's a lot. And it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's just straight distracting to your race pace, right?
It can be if you let it. One of those skills you develop, I think, driving is to never let anything phase you, never let anything catch you off guard, never let anything distract you. And that's a skill drivers have to develop too. So you're right, things can be distracting, but also you got to learn how to not be distracted when they happen.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I want to point out, behind Moose, it looks like we do have a pack of cars, and further behind that first pack, a few looking mighty close. So people better be spreading out a little bit if they want to put in a good qualifying. And I just wanted to ask you, anyone listening that can respond, how are the audio levels? I assume they're okay since no one has complained, but just want to make sure it's as balanced as possible. Going back to that, though, Winter, you're exactly right. It's a skill that kind of just comes with time. and you have to learn to tune things out and just focus on. Demon's wife is here to support. Very happy to have you back.
Welcome back, and you have your own account.
Look at that. They even put the Zero and Demon in the same place.
Yeah.
Moose coming around the start-finish line, his first hot lap, but it looks like he had a penalty of some sort.
Well, we're hoping Demon has another strong race. He did a great job at Autopolis, and I know he had a few unfortunate corners, but we know he's capable of it, so we'll have to see how he does.
Absolutely. Moose putting up a 128.8. It was red for me for some reason, but now that I've come back, it's not. There's no penalty there. Tony Cow, 129.0. So, again, very close. And, oh, my God, these two splitting hairs of 129.0 as well. 5/100ths off Tony's pace.
Wow. Well, let's just hope none of them go off at turn 1 and we get to see them close.
Absolutely.
That's all we want. And,
that's what we want.
Yeah. You have to see Moose is putting in the same time he did in practice, but in practice the track was a lot warmer. The track right now is going to be pretty cold, so you're going to get a little bit better horsepower out of the engine and a little bit better grip. You're not cooking the tires so much through Sector 1.
Yeah, I think maybe it'll play out to his favor right now. I'm curious.
Yeah, I think they still have 2-3 tenths to catch out of here. I wouldn't be surprised if Paul is sub 28.5.
I do want to jump on board with a lap here with Wally, who put in a 136. I'm sure that's not representative of his true pace around here. I know he's putting in some practice, and of course we're rooting on our fellow commentator, right?
Of course we are. Yeah, it's really great that I think the commentators are rotating, running the races, getting some practice in, and also I think it makes the commentary better too. You know what it feels like being in a pack. You know what it feels like when you get something right, when you get something wrong. And it's just experience, isn't it?
I agree 100%. Now, it looks like Wally and young Carlton's laps are being perhaps impeded by one another. Wally does go 2 seconds faster.
Marino's coming through on them. I mean, it's hard for Wally there because what does he do? He backs out when he hasn't got a strong lap before it? He can't really do that.
Exactly right. And you back out there, you're ruining your first sector.
And these guys, we have 10-minute qualifying now. It was 5 minutes before, so he's still got 5 minutes to go. And now he's got a decent gap. If I were him, I'd probably let these two guys behind him go through. I think two people are coming up quick on him. I'm not sure who they are.
Yeah, I would as well. Just give yourself the space. He's got the time to put in laps. Thankfully, the laps around here are short enough. He's got Pato and Shino right behind him.
Yeah. I would let them through. You don't want your tires to cool down too much slowing down, but I'd let them through.
Yeah, and we'll see what he does. Maybe he feels like there's enough space, but to me, it sure looks like Pato is right there. Pato putting in, let's check on his times, a 131.5 so far, and I think he mentioned he was going to be around the 131s there. Wally going deep there again, I would just let it go on the straight and start over.
Sorry to interrupt. The top three are just coming through now, the line. Moose goes quicker. Tony can't. And it looks like Arctic had a poor lap.
Yeah, 131.2 with Arctic. If he keeps that up, he'll be racing in the back of Pato.
Tony's completely off the track, so that's a whole lap gone for him. Hopefully he's not going to get in Arctic's way here.
Let's see. No, he very respectful.
Through, but I think Arctic might have lost a bit of time there. We'll have to see on his next sector. Moose coming up past the end of the first sector. 10th quicker again. He's on purple. And we'll see what Arctic does. But I think Arctic lost quite a bit of time there. Maybe it's quite distracting as someone.
And there's a purple sector by the slightest amount.
I take it back.
Arctic pulls some things out, though. We know that. We know that for sure. Let's jump on board with Sneezy, someone I think I missed when I was running down the ranks. Current best is a 130.2. Not too shabby. I personally don't feel. I think he's probably got some more pace in him, though.
I think he will. Yeah, and he'll find it. A lot of these guys are going to find it as the race goes by. Moose not improving at the end of the second sector there. Going to jump down to Arctic, check the sector times for you. Arctic's not improving either.
Well, they've got a couple minutes left here, under 3 minutes left to put in another 1 or 2 laps max, I think, at this rate.
They got, 2 laps from the front runners here and everyone else. But these are very consistent times. Moose has done a 28.8, 28.9, 28.8, 28.9, very consistent.
That's going to be tough to keep up with in the race.
Very consistent before he had his off. within a tenth all his times. A very nice first corner from in there, but maybe not using enough of the track. Carlton and Marino here are really battling side by side in quali, so
They are. Maybe, I mean, I don't think Carlton's put up his best time just yet. I don't.
no.
Carlton has surprised me, actually, I got to say, this season so far. Not that I thought I was the fastest person alive, but to be having someone to fight with and know is my target personally has been pretty fun, I got to say. Carlton's best is a 130.7 right now.
It's always good having a target or another driver you can sort of benchmark yourself against.
Yeah, otherwise you don't know how you're going to improve. We're just going to check Marino's best time. It's a 130.0.
Yeah.
So 7/10 between the two of them, but they've been fighting this entire way through. Just because you have one lap pace does not necessarily mean they may be able to easily get past them all the time during a race. And this is something we've discussed about Marino. You feel like sometimes he's being too kind to the other drivers he's fighting with.
He might be getting very frustrated here, but he's got a good draft down the straight. If I was him, I'd overtake. I don't know. I mean, you can bump draft each other, see if you get some extra tenths, but...
Interestingly, going for the outside, well, I guess that means he'll have the inside of the hairpin.
Yeah. We're going to see, though, because Carlton's not going to want to yield, and Moose is down into the 28.6s here.
Marino much later on the brakes, very controlled, and maybe just gets a slight...
bump.
Yeah.
So he didn't lose any time there, did he?
No, that was clean, Marino. Nice job.
This is going to be a quick lap for Marino compared to his last. He might beat Shino here. He might catch that fourth back.
Ooh, no, just shy, 4/10 shy.
Yeah.
And let's check on Shino real quick. A 129.8. Very good lap time coming from him. That looks like a solid fourth place right now. Just looking at the times as again, qualifying is closing up.
P4 down. They're still a second off the pace.
Yeah, that's wild to see.
And
we're going to check in on a couple of people that we did. And Wally put in a new record of 133.7. Don't think that moves him up. He's got to find that pace. He's got this last lap to do it. Let's see what he can do. Demon at 130.5.
Moose is half a second down. He won't improve, so that's the benchmark time for now. We're going to watch on Tony, see if he can beat that second sector, but I don't think he will. Oh, he will.
Ooh.
Okay, I take it back, commentator Chris. Let's see, we stay on board with him, I guess, to the finish line.
Absolutely. Let's see what he can do. Oh, no, Tony.
Cut. Was it worth cutting? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
He over-rotated cutting the corner there.
Yeah, and he had to lock the wheel in the opposite direction. Arctic puts up a personal best of 128.8, I think I saw.
Look how close.
I think if Tony wasn't slipping around like that, he might have been faster.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes you cut, sometimes it works. But there, I think he cut the corner, over-rotated. Too much. Probably the same steering angle as normal, but when the rears are going over the grass, it's going to spin you around. As soon as those front tires hit the tarmac, you're going to lose the rear a bit. And like we said before, you lose the rear there, you lose, 2-3 tenths?
Yeah, easily.
And you look at that last sector, he's lost 2.5 tenths. So... And he was on purple up until that point.
He was,
so Tony,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Tony might be a bit disappointed with that lap, but at the same time, he knows his pace is strong enough to get the win.
Exactly right. I do think Wally probably, I know he's been working hard at a lot of other things, so he probably didn't get in the practice necessarily he wanted to, but I think Wally's going to have there's no rain to worry about. Road Atlanta, I think, is a really good track for everyone involved. He's going to come across the line. He obviously had a moment that we didn't see on stream. He's starting in 11th, but that doesn't mean you have to end up there. I think Pato, though, will be exuberant to be finishing in P10.
Yeah, he had a lot of traffic there. A lot of the drivers here had a lot of traffic, and Tony's saying in chat, sad over that last sector. We saw that, you're running purple, little too much steering angle maybe coming over that curb, fronts grip up, and the rear's still in grass, and you lose it a bit, and 2-3 tenths you lose, but Tony will know that he can take the fight to Moose and Arctic, and he...
so much traffic. I'm sorry, Wally, says Marino.
Yeah. It was tough there. There were 3 of you going into T1 in qualifying.
So let's take a look at the results here. We see Moose, like we discussed, 128.6, over 1/10 faster than everyone else. Specs and Sheena right on top of each other once again. That's right. Arctic coming up in P2, Tony in P3, finishing up the top 3 spots there. Not a lot of time between the three of them. It's going to be a tough few laps for them, and maybe a tough entire race, as long as they keep it clean and don't end up in the grass like last time.
Yeah, we missed Specs stealing that spot, didn't we, at the end there when we were
Yeah, we
watching the
did.
front
Sorry,
runners? And
Specs.
we did say before it's going to be, that 4 to 6 spots. It's going to be between Shino, Specs, and Marino. And Marino had a lot of traffic. Specs put a time in. Shino managed to get some space, and the guys behind are going to want to catch him up. Steezy and D-Man are going to not want to battle each other too hard. They're going to want to try and steal one of those spots, and they know they can get near the podium. So.
Absolutely. And again, I don't think Wally's best time is truly representative of what he can do, being that far off the pace. But overall, less than 3 seconds between first and 10th for us is pretty wild. Can Winters be turned up a touch on his end?
Yeah, let me just do that for you. Unless it's because you've turned me down.
I am going to try turning you up first, and we'll see what happens. Tony, you'll just have to let us know.
Actually, my mic is... No, my mic levels are good, I think.
Okay, Tony, let us know. I just bumped
one.
him up a little bit.
Okay. Hopefully that's better now. Maybe Tony can hear my shit talking now.
Or maybe if he could have heard you during the practice and qualifying, he might have done better.
We saw you try and cut that corner in the last chicane. We saw karma bite you.
Naughty, naughty.
We're going to see here. People are going to be pushing the limits, especially T5 after the S's. People are going to be following each other wide, getting that draft. They're going to be learning where they can cut, where they can't. Yeah, tire in the grass is not fine though when you grip up the front end and you got no grip on the rears.
Yeah, exactly right.
But I think we were saying Tony too. I think wide after the S's is fine. If anyone starts straight lining the last chicane, we're gonna have words. But I don't think that'll happen.
Man, yeah, exactly right. It's a shame that we don't have like admin power over the lobby. We could just give them a swift boot if they're doing that.
Yeah, give them a quick 3-second penalty, slow down.
That would be great.
I do quite like the way iRacing does it, where they sort of have the delta, and if it recognizes you, maybe it's not perfect, but my experience of it was pretty good. It said, oh, you just gained a second, you got to give it back, and it gives you X amount of time to give it back, and it seemed quite fair.
I much prefer that method as well, because you give it back, and it's, I think, less harmful in some ways than the Gran Turismo way.
Tony says straight line through T3 is more my concern. Well, if anyone has the balls to do that, we'll see.
Oh, that'll be quite obvious, won't it?
Yeah, but we're starting soon, so I'm excited. We've got the top three very close together. We know Tony could have put it on pole there at the end, but choked. And but he's more than capable, and he's just gonna have to make sure he doesn't go off at T1 like last time, or Moose, or
Marino.
Last thing they want is to let Arctic run away with it again, like I did. Because
yes.
I could keep up with him.
Yes, well, that's what I'm curious to see, because we saw Moose putting in those consistent times, and they were all faster than everyone else. So if he can stay... Go ahead.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. Very consistent, but Tony's times were also incredibly... They were more consistent.
As he tends to be.
Apart from that one lap he had, I think it was 3 from the end, where he lost the rear, I think, in the last corner, maybe. I'm not sure. He was within a tenth. Like, not even a tenth of his times. They were all right up there. So here we go. We got 10 seconds, 5 seconds.
Exciting times. This is our last GR race of Season 1 here at Ames. We'll have a little bit of time off. We'll talk more about that later. We're going to spectate, throw up the UI, and let's watch as the lights go up, and then they go out, and it'll be race underway here at Road Atlanta in the GR86, our opener series for the first half of Season 1 at Ames. Everyone's flashing their lights. They're ready to go. We got 3 and 5, and the lights are out, and away we go here at Road Atlanta, a fantastic track. It really suits these GRs fine.
It's going to be exciting. Last race, we're going to see who's the champion at the end of today.
We are. You're exactly right. Who will be the GR champion?
Well, I'm just going to watch the action for now, and then I'll do a little bit of math as the race goes on.
Excellent.
I don't want to miss anything.
Wally
Tony's
making you up 2 places here. Young
Bartek.
Carlton down to 11th. Good.
Oh,
See,
nice.
What did I say? There we go. You capitalize on people's mistakes. I'm telling you, it's that musician training in us that helps us at those race starts, and it's how we can make up some places.
Yeah, and Arctic running strong up front in P2. Tony's right on the bumper. Moose is getting away, so they're not going to want to fight each other too much. And moving down the pack, everyone's running pretty close. Demon's got a run on Marino up
Demon
into turn
does
6.
have a move.
I'm not sure if he can make it stick though. No one wants to have an off this early, but look there, Wally's catching up.
Exactly right. Wally getting his nose in there, maybe where I think it belongs for sure. You know, he's a P9, so he's either going to fight with young Carlton and Pato, or he's going to try to stick with these guys up front, just like I tried to do with Moreno in them last race. Bryson in chat. Ames is an international motorsport series hosted in Gran Turismo 7, and we race every Sunday. We have weeknight lobbies on Thursdays. We're looking for good, clean, fun racing. As it looks like Moreno ahead of Demon, getting a little bit sloppy. Wally in the power a little bit too early there, but he's going to hold it. We're going to jump up front real quick with Tony Cal, who looks like he's not quite up against the rear bumper of Arctic anymore, but I'm curious to see how these two are going to go.
Yes, just a quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Can the drivers scratch a race in the Opener Series points-wise? I know we can in the Manu race, we can scratch too. But I'm not sure if we agreed on scratching our lowest points race.
I believe we discussed scratching 2 across the entire Season 1.
Okay.
So that's what I believe is the rule. So yeah, I mean, if people wanted to, they could scratch out for the Opener Series here or the ones of the future. Bryson, it is open to anyone. You could choose to start whenever you want, as long as it's a slot open. We do have reserve slots open as well for drivers who either A, can't make every Sunday race, or B, our main driver slots are full. Tony Cow is up, and actually Moose must have had a moment.
Moose did, yeah. Shino's right on his tail now, making a move on him. Not too sure what happened there.
Moose maybe went wide. We saw him the last turn that they were just at. He kind of suffered with a bit, or struggled with a bit last time we were here, if I remember correctly. Let's see who's going to be braver here. Ooh. Yeah, Bryson, if you care to join, send us a DM, and we'll get you more information. I apologize as we're commentating here. So Arctic is now up front. Moose looks like he took back P3 from Shino relatively, I don't want to say easily, but relatively confidently. And is now going to be on the race.
And we're basically running in the point standings. So in the points, we have Arctic up first with 101.5 points.
Oh, look at this! Look at this! I'm sorry to cut you off, but Shino letting through Specs without a problem. Specs just swooped up in there, and Steezy is right behind them too.
Well, Steezy must have got through on Marino too, where we didn't see that coming.
We didn't see that happen so earlier.
Steezy's coming back for his pole position.
That's
like.
right,
Hey,
or his podium.
Sorry.
Yeah, pole position might be a bit of a stretch for now, but
yeah.
The man's done some work, and this is a fight we have going on here. I think Shino must have been slow come out of a corner, because Specs just swooped in and ate it up, and Steezy had a bit of a look as well. We're going to see how they end up on this turn and coming down the main straight. Again, this is one that gets a lot of the talk amongst us, at least, because the last time I remember discussing it, that turn in particular, I think it's more important to have a slow exit so you can get a slow entrance so you can better get on the gas earlier.
Yeah, in the manufacturer race, it's one of the only corners you're really progressive with the throttle, because you don't want to lose any traction at all, because then you feel it the whole way down the straight, and it's just something you really, yeah, you're right, you have to maximize the exit speed on it. Once upon a time, it had the longest straight in all road circuits in America. It might still actually.
That's wild. I did not know that.
The Whittington brothers, they actually purchased the track because of that reason back in the 70s, so they could land planes on that straight.
That's ridiculous.
They would smuggle drugs and other things in. They would land them on the straight. They'd unload it. They'd take off at the same time another plane with identical markings, an identical clone plane, and they landed at the airport it was recorded to land at.
Wow, that is
and
wild.
They funded their racing careers that way, and they won Le Mans.
Wow.
They outright won Le Mans.
We do see that Carlton got past Wally and Pato, and Wally's looking a little bit sloppy, but so far he's looking quick. He's about a second ahead of Pato.
You might want to move up to Tony. He might have a good enough draft on Arctic to make a move into T10.
Oh,
Just
yes.
heading down the straight here, and we said Tony had the pace before the race. He's really pressuring Arctic here, and he can't really let Arctic run away in the lead, or he's won the championship.
Exactly right. We know that can't happen. We know, well, in Tony's mind, that certainly cannot happen. Look at them going side by side.
Oh.
Tony getting a little sloppy there. That was wild.
A good thing he's a drift king. He managed to keep it on the track.
That's right. He'll have to have a go again. I don't know that that was anyone's fault. Tony had a tire in the dirt maybe and was on the gas that caused him to lose it a little bit. There was a little bit of a tap, it seemed like, but not too much.
Yeah, some pretty iconic Toyota 86 action there sideways.
Exactly right.
But yeah, and you see a lot of marbles there as well. It's turn 10, I think it's turn 10 A and B, and B there on the entry. If you go a bit wide there, you get your rear left on the marbles. You do lose some grip. Very easy to swing the back out more.
That's right.
Tony's gonna run wide here though, is he? They're staying in track limits.
Keeping it within track limits is what we like to see.
I wouldn't be.
Shino is a ways behind in P3. We're going to see if Tony has another look actually down this main street. I want to see how powerful this draft can be.
Yeah, he was a bit close to last lap. Yeah, I don't think he'll. I mean, he'd really be sending it if he did it here, I think.
Yeah, he's a bit too far away now. He's 2/10 slower or further behind than he was. I'm going to jump on board real quick. I think I saw something happening in the back here, but maybe it was just the icon. Moose must have had a moment. That's what I saw spinning out. No. Moose, what happened, my guy?
Well, he's P1 down to P9, and he's not going to be happy with that. This is a favorite track of his. We know he's quick. But he must just be pushing the limits, you know. He had a problem at the start. Maybe he's just pushing it too hard, trying to catch back up.
That is just why I did not expect that coming from him. He's got to be just killing himself right now for that. Not killing himself, but kicking himself. Lux Racing, what's going on? Delps, how are you? Brian, I'm trying to get you my Discord username so you could reach out to me there. I'll type it in chat for you. Shoot me a message on Discord, and we'll talk later about that. Just because I do have to keep streaming.
Lonely race for Moose now. He's quite a few seconds off, 5-6 seconds off Carlton. Maybe he has enough time to catch him up, because there's a big pack there. There's Carlton, there's Demon, and then there's a short gap to Specs, Steezy, and Marino. And Marino's up into P4. He's snuck past them all.
Man, good for him. Looking pretty sharp.
Yeah, and we saw him there like a shark, hanging back behind them, and fortunately we missed where he did it, but he's gotten through, and he's clearly got the pace advantage on them.
Yeah, they're doing work here, and Shino showing up, which is really great today. I know we've said it all season long so far, but Shino has pace, and I'm glad to see them putting it down, putting it to use, showing us what's what. And here we have two of the three stooges in our league haven't added together. Steezy's not going to be leaving Marino alone, and their teammates in the next race.
No, and remember, Shino did really well the last time we were here.
Who's right behind Steezy?
See here, Specs right there. Oh, Specs on the inside here. Oh, he bumped him. He's gone off. Oh no, Specs.
Was that contact there?
Yeah, there was a little bit. I think Specs has slowed down to give him a spot back, but look who's got through. Demon's in P5.
Demon capitalizing on that for sure.
And that was good of Specs to let him through.
Absolutely.
Specs must have felt a bit bad about that.
Hey, you know what? He took a gamble, and I've done similar things. You take a gamble, you see if you can make it work, and whether it's you or both drivers, or it could just be a matter of circumstance. Yeah. The other person runs wide, you slow down and let them go by. You don't have to put an incident report. We don't need to overlook anything or look over anything.
And I think Steezy will say he should have slowed down to let him by a bit sooner, which would have been before the contact happened.
Yes.
It's in the past now. So
look at these two getting spicy here. Young and Moose, forcing Moose a very narrow line through there, but keeping it clean.
Well, they must have had some slow corners too, because Moose, last time we checked, was 6 seconds behind?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Moose, or Moose is just killing it. We'll have to see.
Very strange. I'll see what the sector time is for Carlton here. 3.5 seconds slower. Yeah. He must have had a moment.
Yep. Delps offered to commentate. I just don't know how we're going to handle the audio for that. If you can ever not make it for another race where you can race, let us know ahead of time, and we'll definitely work that in, because I don't think we can say no to a third commentator.
Yep.
Moose easily getting that job done, it looks like now.
Unless you're asking to commentate during the race, which might be tricky.
Yes.
Is Delps racing? No, Delps
not today. He came in late, it looks like. Yeah. Delps, are you racing in the menu race? Had to make the $100. I mean, can't blame me for that, right?
Fair enough.
So it looks like right now, Wally and Pato are both having lonely races, but like I said, just because you start last does not mean you have to end up there. And Wally's doing a good job, I think, of keeping it that way. Pato's lap times have been consistent, and this is not a dig at him.
Sorry to interrupt. Tony's got a run on Arctic here, and Tony just 2 laps ago, almost breaking that 128.5 barrier we were talking about. So very quick from him here. He's lost a lot of time in Sector 1, but he's going to send it up the inside if he can.
Let's see if they can keep it clean. If Tony Cal can get it this round.
We're really squeezing each other.
And Tony's off a little bit here.
They're still side by side.
Anthony must be having a hell of a time. I just hear him laughing in his pit right now. Arctic, though, swooping in just to get it. But here we go, around turn 1. Let's see what they can do here.
Ooh, is he going to... Yeah, he is. Ooh, I thought we were going to see a Specs move again.
Me too. I was worried about that.
I think Tony was very respectful there. I thought he was just going to put it side by side and force Arctic to yield, but that was very nice of him not to.
Yeah, I think that's the racecraft that I prefer to see. You know, if we're racing for money, maybe it's another story, but we're racing for fun here. As much as we want to take it seriously, Arctic though having a moment. It looks like giving Tony Cal a better run here coming up on this next turn.
And Tony knows he has the whole rest of the race and he has the pace. He doesn't need to make silly moves. See there, he probably could have made that stick again. I think he just knows he has the pace. He doesn't need to do anything silly.
I agree.
And it's better to race fair. They've got another, 17 minutes to go.
We're going to watch these two come down once more, but Tony Cal even faster and side by side at this point already. Now he's going for the outside.
Arctic, we'll see how much he's going to crowd him. Arctic trying to crowd him over, but again, very fair. Last time they went in, Tony was on the left last time. Let's see if it's any different here. Oh, both having moments there, but I think Tony's going to have a better run down to T1.
I think so as well, and he'll have the inside. Maybe he liked what Arctic did last time and said, hey, let me give that a shot, and we'll see what happens here. I want to see if we'll have another Specs moment. I don't think we will between these two. That looked a little bit close there from Arctic.
I think Arctic definitely braked a bit later there, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Gosh. Oh, that was waiting to happen, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. There's only so much room that you can give and take.
And I would say, honestly, if I was Arctic there, I probably would have let Tony by and try to stay a bit closer and then fight back, because now it's going to take Arctic, 2-3 laps to get back, unless Tony makes a mistake?
Yeah, I have to agree. You know, he could have just let off the gas a little bit, let Tony go in front, and not to mention he would have had a tow. He would have been much closer and maybe had that tow effect coming down this main street. We'll jump back up board with them in a little bit, because I'm curious to see how it's going to go.
He did just make 5/10 up in 2 corners somehow.
We'll see.
It looked like Tony was slowing to me. It was very odd.
Yeah, maybe Tony felt a little bit bad, and Tony notably having a 128.5 right now, his fastest lap. That's pretty freaking wild. Just wanted to answer Bryson in chat. So Bryson, we have a couple of different series right now. Our mainstay series, our main series, I should say, is Group 3 cars. We do have BOP enabled for them. You can only make certain changes. As for our opener series, we're trying a new thing this season, but last year felt like a long year. So right now we have these GR86 cars based off of the real race cars that they do. Tony Cal has been putting together lots of builds for us to try, and this was a blast when we tried it in preseason testing. The next 5 races after this, though, we'll be having, I think, a different car each race.
Oh, Tony's lost it through into the S's here. And there, and Arctic's back through again.
That's it. Tony pushing maybe when he didn't need to push. Once again, we know he's got the pace. He knows he's got the pace. Just keep it clean and tidy, and you will get there. Because this is now going to be at least the third time that we're going to see Tony encroach on Arctic and try to make a move once more. So this is the third lap in a row that we're watching, and they're in a very similar place.
Yeah, and the skill level between them is very similar, and they're very respectful. So we're seeing a lot of side-by-side racing, which we love to see.
This
Tony's
straight,
getting
man.
through here, I think, on the straight.
Wow, yeah, there it is. But will Arctic have an answer for it? That was a very strong draft. Oh, so much trust there. So much trust there. But they're not side by side this time.
Better exit by Arctic, though. He took the corner a bit better.
He did, yeah, and that leaves him right behind again. Let's see if he can make it stick. Let's see if there's any sloppiness that will occur once more.
And it's so easy here to just tap Tony. Yeah, you saw he let off the throttle, I think, a bit before he braked there, just to make sure he was perfect.
I agree, but now look at this. Arctic, because of that, I thought he was going to have more speed carried through, but he does not just yet.
Yeah, that was a very odd line. I'm not sure. He really compromised himself into turn 3 there, and then the whole of the S's. But
I have to agree, but all of this fighting has taken a second off the gap between these two and Shino behind.
Yep, and Shino's keeping a steady gap between him and Marino there. 4.3 seconds. Last time I checked, it was about 4 seconds, and but Marino's making a gap from Demon in 7th, and Moose just passing Demon now through the S's.
Wow.
Which is a pretty bold overtake. I don't think we've seen anyone overtake through there, but that just goes to show Moose's pace, and Moose is now going to be catching Marino, and he's got 7.5 seconds.
And he's got 12.5 minutes to make it happen. Let's see what more Moose can make up. Very bold indeed, just like Demon's bold Hawaiian punch livery, which I'm a big fan of. Behind Demon is Specs, who that one mistake of his fighting, man, he hasn't been able to catch up again, which is really a shame.
Steezy's right on the tail of Carlton here, coming down the main straight. If you want to try catch them, it looks like Steezy's just trying to bump draft him the whole way, thoho.
Yeah, I'm curious. Maybe he's not interested really in fighting.
We'll have to see who makes it out of the second part of turn 10 here.
Yes. Now, Steezy, I think overall will be faster, but again, Carlton has come out to play so far in this season, and I'm loving to see it. He's not afraid to get his elbows out.
Steezy's getting a better run down to turn 1 again.
Both of them.
I don't think they touched, did they?
No, it didn't look like they touched at all. I think it was just a matter of them both...
Steezy almost lost it there, but Carlton, I guess, ran too wide. I was watching Steezy.
Yes, me too. But now that's let Wally come through, and he's in front of Carlton again. I'm sure he's happy about that, saying thank you very much.
Very nice.
Yeah, exactly right. And then we'll jump back with Carlton, who's got front and rear damage that will heal up on this in this opener series where we have light damage.
Specs is using every inch of the track there. Very wide on turn 5, trying to catch Demon, and Demon, he's not going to be able to catch Moose, but Moose is going to be a sort of benchmark for him. He's going to be watching him. Maybe he's going to... Sometimes when someone quicker goes in front of you, you can see, I was braking a bit too early, I can copy their lines. And sometimes
it's amazing.
you get a little bit quicker.
It's funny because I think I've spoken about this before, where in the time trials, I often look for a ghost that's just...
Go ahead. Did we miss Tony and Arctic swapping positions again?
They swapped again, it looks like.
I'm not sure if they did, but it looks like they might do here at T1. Ooh. Very brave from Arctic around the outside, but I think he's going to make it stick. I have a lot of faith in him.
I do as well.
Oh my gosh, he's done it.
Wow, great driving there.
Overtake. And he's just crowded, parking it on the apex there, and Tony can't do anything to come back.
But Tony also probably said, let me let off the gas again. We don't want another incident like last time, right around there.
Yeah, and this is also Tony not being overly aggressive, which is, commendable, and it's why they're still racing, and we haven't seen one of them go off at T1 5 laps ago.
Exactly right. I mean, for the fact that they've been fighting now for how many laps in a row?
Yeah,
It's
I
just
just hope
stupendous to
I
see.
really hope they're wearing each other out for the manufacturer race because I've got to go head to head with them later.
Exactly right. Hey, let this play to your advantage. Notably,
Yeah,
Shino, I only imagine Shino must have had a moment that let him lose half a second because he
let's
should
see.
only be gaining on them if he's consistent.
He's coming up on a sector here. We'll see, but I mean, he can see them, can't he? He's got a front row ticket.
Exactly right.
Let's see. His sector time's about to come up now. There you
Yep,
go.
5
Half a
tenths off.
second.
So he
Yeah, you're
definitely
right.
lost it somewhere.
Oh, and these guys are swapping at the front. Are they again? Oh, they're side by side. Look at that. Gosh.
This
they're
is
really,
so good.
Reminiscent of the old Toyota 86s and the Touche races.
Yeah, really. Arctic gonna have another run coming down the S's, and we'll see if he makes another move. If Tony allows that move to be made once more.
Very strong in turn one, isn't he?
He's very.
Yeah.
Arctic has a couple turns where I've noticed he's taking a lot of time out of Tony. Turn one is one of them. I think the last chicane is another. And
yeah, and these guys are so close now.
Oh.
It's just about who loses a tenth in one corner and not the other, or you know.
Exactly right.
So
it's rubber banding the entire race length, right?
Do you mean network problems, rubber banding?
Oh,
or?
I mean like
Oh, no,
their time distance, right? Like it
yeah,
expands,
yeah.
it contracts, it expands,
yeah,
it contracts.
it's a real Constantina kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly right. So this, is Arctic
Oh,
is
no,
sloppy.
no,
Arctic.
Oh,
how does he
how did
recover
catch
to not
up?
lose that much time?
Oh, he's gonna have some, yeah, you know. And sometimes there you lose it on the next corner because you just lit your rears up and you got no grip on them.
Oh, I've done that plenty of times myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump on with Moose now, see where he's going. 5 seconds in front, 5.7 behind. He's in his own land right now, trying to make up whatever points he can.
Oh. Has he gotten slower? He's
We'll see. There's a second.
He's just lost a load of time.
It sure looks like it.
I thought he was a lot closer to Marino. But
I thought
not.
so too.
No.
4 tenths this lap.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So, a lot to keep track of in this race.
Oh, dude, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to peek on Steezy. Wally, very far at Pato. It looks like Carlton's just decided to pit.
Really?
Maybe just calling it for the race. Maybe something came up. I'm not really sure. They're just sitting there, so that's unfortunate. But that'll mean Pato top 10 finish.
P10, very nice.
Exactly right. Wally getting his P10 or less finish, or greater finish, I should say.
We should say Carlton had a very heavy night last night.
Did he? I was not. I was absent on Discord.
Not to out him. But, he said he was at, last thing I heard from him, he was at a bar where they had $27 full condiment bottles, and I mean like, you know, the big squirt of ketchup bottles full of hard liquor.
Oh my god.
and that was after he was having a fun time. So
Oofa. Well, maybe that's affecting him today. We know we've seen it before when Tony had a late night of some boozing, and it affected him the next day.
Doing all right now. Moose up ahead of Marino. We must have missed Marino having
definitely missed that because Marino had a moment there.
Yeah.
I'm just on board with Arctic. He put in a purple sector just now and is closing the gap. Again, look at the difference in lines there. And he just eats time out of Tony Cow there. But again, their time difference keeps rubber banding, you know. We'll see what happens here. Yep, there's the best lap. I was waiting to see it from Arctic.
We're below the 28.5s.
That's right. That is blisteringly fast in these cars.
Oh, he's gone wide.
God.
Oh, he just kept it. Oh my god, it's so easy to rotate the car there. When you've got a lot of rotation on the car and you touch your curb, sometimes it can just go and it all snaps so quick. Look at that. Arctic's using all the track. Very risky, but
honestly,
it's rewarding.
This first place finish is really up in the air at this point because they keep swapping places. I do think it's in Tony Cow's favor overall, but again, they swap positions at that one point, and that could be it.
Well, unless Arctic really has an off and finishes in the pit lane, I think he's won the championship. So for now, it's really just about who wins the race. And Tony, probably knowing that, and he won the last Opener Series, he's just going to want to win the race now. So.
Yeah, absolutely he does. We're going to keep with these two as they go down this long straight.
Moose running a little wide there, and yeah, we saw Marino lost 5 seconds on that lap. Over 5 seconds, actually. 5.5, and Moose is now going to try and get on the podium, and he's only got 5 minutes to do it, and he's going to have to catch 8 seconds up. I don't know if he can. Last lap, he's currently 6-7 tenths down on his current lap.
That is a lot of time to make up, as Arctic almost alongside Tony Cow.
Yeah.
As they're entering turn 1, he's got to let up. He knows it's not going to work, especially on the outside there.
Oh, and he's taking a very different line through here compared to usual. I'm not sure that's an interpretive line from Arctic there.
I imagine it was. I mean, let's face it. I feel like even in my limited time, running behind someone so closely, sometimes I need a breather. Like, I know I'll catch up to them again, but I just need a breather of being that close because it's so tense and so stressful.
But also at this point, you're pushing it here and there every lap. You're seeing where it does and doesn't work. He's already pushed it out wide there, I think 2-3 laps, and I don't think it's worked for him any of them. So
yeah, that's a good point.
The one great overtake he did was on the other side. So I don't know. I mean, I think the narrow line into there is a bit quicker, and I don't think you should give it up so easily.
We're on board with Spexon, or watching Spexon Steezy right now. Under a second between them, so I want to see what kind of run Steezy gets coming up here as we see Demon ahead of them, hoping these two keep fighting it out. Steezy very slow there through that corner, and now he's still within range to get that draft, but it's not going to be enough to get him alongside for an attempt at passing Spexon to the chicane.
Yeah, Steezy's got a couple miles an hour extra speed on him, I think. He got a bit better acceleration, but he's too far away.
We're going to jump just back, checking in with everyone else. Wally very comfortably ahead of Pato, looking like his average lap time is around a 1:31 change. Again, coming from his practice and qualifying pace, I'll take 3 seconds off, and that's probably part of the reason why, as we jump up board with Pato, he's been able to stay ahead. So it comes back to consistency. We say it week after week, and I'm probably a broken record at this point, but Pato knows where he's got to improve, so I'm not going to harp on him.
Yeah, it's consistency. It's also finding time as the race goes on. You look at Shino right now, to keep that podium, he's got to find time. He's done a 29.2 and a 29.3, and Moose isn't running that much quicker, and he's not being very consistent. He had a few consistent laps, and then he dropped off, and then he went quicker, so he's finding time, losing time, and he probably knows he has to drive perfectly to the end, and Shino needs to make a mistake or two, because he's only got 2 minutes to go.
That's right, 2 minutes to go. Unless there's a drastic mistake, Shino is going to take home P3.
Arctic on the inside of Tony here at the front.
Let's see. These two once more. Arctic pushing, Tony pushing Arctic, but still within track limits.
And again, Tony's going to have to crowd him wide, I think, here, and not let him get on that outside, because we saw him do that overtake maneuver there.
I think so too. We're going to keep it on this cinematic cam right now. I want to see a bit more of what's going on.
And I think this will be the last lap from them, will it? I don't think they'll make another one.
I don't think so. I
think it's going to come up final lap just when they're going into the chicane.
All right, Arctic 5 tenths behind.
6 seconds behind, so the only race on track really now is Tony Arctic.
That's right. The others they have some space between them.
Unless Steezy can catch Demon, I think that's it.
We are going to jump back to them after we see the finish from these two, because they deserve it. They've been fighting, I think, the entire race length, just about.
Yeah, and the entire season, really. The season's been between these two guys, I say, more than anyone. Moose has been up there a lot, but these two guys, really, they've been trading fastest laps. I say that as Moose has the fastest lap right now.
Oh, check him out. Wow. A tenth quicker, man. I'm sorry, 6 tenths quicker.
And like we were saying before, he's finding new time. He's trying to catch up. He's got to drive perfectly, but coming into the last corner here, Arctic a bit wide, Tony going a bit sideways, but are they going to make it to the line? They might do.
They very well might. They might have. Maybe they're hoping.
Seconds. I think they're going to make it.
I think so.
Oh, they're going to make it. They made it by 2 seconds.
Tony probably wishing they were able to not do another lap, because this is every opportunity. This is it.
Shino's going to finish a lap down, I think, is he not?
Yep, there he is.
Moose isn't going to catch him, so great podium there from Shino, and we're gonna watch Arctic and Tony from here on out, I believe.
I think so. I don't think there's anything else really
Steezy's
going
not
on.
catching Demon, so it's a good P6 from Demon.
Very good finish for him.
A good P5 from Marino, but now the fight's between Tony and Arctic. And, you know, so often in this season it's just been between these two guys. And, Arctic knows his only chance here is to get close enough coming out of T7. Was it T8? I can't remember what turn
I can't remember the turn numbers around here. I know,
Yeah.
it's like this section exactly right where they just came out of. I always get like lost at.
Oh, he is close enough. I don't know what they're going to do here. They're going to do side by side over the line, aren't they?
I think so, as long as they keep it clean.
Oh.
Tony going way defensive.
You can't do that. That's your one move, Tony.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right. That's his one move.
What are you doing?
He's having a laugh.
Oh, Tony's finally got the elbows out.
He had to.
And you know he's driven so respectfully the whole time. Maybe he can do that. If he was driving like that the whole race, no. But well done, Tony.
Well done. That was.
Well done, Arctic, for staying with him for half an hour.
Those two, man, we're about to see the Discord blow up because of that. That was impressive driving.
Yeah.
Holy.
That was kind of weaving, wasn't it? But
yeah,
you know,
it was.
Tony was so respectful the whole race and fair, and
hey, you know what?
well
Arctic
done
can
to
bring
him.
it up. Arctic can bring it
Well
up.
done, yeah.
You know, I think he'll say, you know what, that was fair.
Yeah.
Yo, lap 14. Yeah, that was wild to see. That was brazen. Let's take a quick look at the results here. Tony Cal taking P1. Arctic taking home P2. Shino, I don't know if this is his first podium with us, taking home a well-deserved P3, though.
Yeah, and Arctic saying there in the chat, Arctic around the outside, yeah, we were losing our minds when that happened.
That
We
was
couldn't believe
ridiculous. You two just gave us some racing to see.
Yeah.
Shino absolutely killing it. Moose, I think, needed a good another 10 plus laps and keeping up at that rapid pace of his to have any chance of catching up.
I mean that fastest lap from Moose was, what was it, 28.3?
28.39.
That was something else.
That's just ridiculous to me. 5/10 faster, than the other one.
Yeah, and Shino did great too.
Absolutely clean, kept it tidy. Great race from the guys behind them too. Marino, Demon, Steezy, Specs. I mean, they were just having at it, and it was great to see.
A lot of trading places. There might be some trading comments in the Discord now, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure. As it's already starting to go, I already got some message on Discord. It might be from them, it might not.
Yeah.
Wally taking home P9. You'll love to see it. Congratulations, my brother, my fellow commentator. Pato with his P10 finish. Both of them probably their own worst enemies today.
Yeah, but good, I mean, well done for them for sticking it out and getting the experience in it. That's the most important thing, really. And I hope they've enjoyed racing this series, which I think's been fantastic to watch and commentate on. I've really enjoyed my time with it.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you were able to join us. I'm glad that you decided to forego the series, as much fun as it personally is to drive.
Yeah, but these guys, they're more competitive than me in these cars. They enjoy them more, and I enjoy watching them more. And I'm very happy to be on this side of it.
But not to get the car set up. Yeah, I wish we could just share car setups, just like you could share lobby settings or whatever. But unfortunately there isn't. But this was a fantastic race. We're going to take a short break, and actually we're going to have to cancel the stream so Wally could pick up the stream on his PC for the manufacturer's race. So you should get that. Wally's actually already ready to go. So I'm going to cancel it here. You refresh your page in 30 seconds, and you'll be watching us getting ready for the Manu Series race. Anything else from you, Winter?
Wish us luck. We're gonna need it. Moose is gonna wanna make a big comeback in this race. I think he's the favorite to beat. Not sure if Tony or Arctic are gonna be able to really counter the pace he has. It's his favorite track, and also the not sure what everyone's gonna do on strategy. we'll have to see. I think the race might be one I lost on strategy, but
I think
I don't
so.
think I have the pace to beat Moose. I think I'm close, but not close enough. And again, it's probably going to be one of those laps where we know you burn tires. People are going to be protecting tires. People will be burning them, maybe doing extra stops. Who knows? It's going to be exciting, though.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So with that, we'll see you in a short few minutes. Winter, good luck on your race today. I'll meet you in the commentary box, or I'll see you folks in the commentary box with Wally, as I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about his race. Again, refresh your browser in about 30 to 60 seconds, and you'll be able to catch the Manu race. I do appreciate you all joining us, and I'll see you shortly.